So it seems like every black person is being, is like, to them, every black person that they see is some type of a criminal or something. No matter, even if they serve, in the military for this country, if they're police officers, it just doesn't matter. It's just because of the color of our skin. A lot of white people just look at us because of what they've been reading and what they hear being blasted on social media and everywhere else, and then their conversation at work. Then they go and they see something pop up on the news. Say, oh, look at that, another black guy. Oh, he killed somebody over there in Chicago. And oh, look at that, another black person. Look, so they just put everybody in the same bucket. Put everybody in the same bucket and just simply write us off and say all y'all jacked up because we know better. I know some really cool white people. I was gonna say white folks, but my mind works like that. Got two words in my head, and then one of them get out my lips, and then the other one I almost, But anyway, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I think it's way wrong for y'all to judge us that way and put all in the same bucket. We're drinking. That's what happens when the daggone thing is buffering. I'm going through these bad areas. But yeah, so it's we can say the same thing about white America, but we don't do that. We being realistic about it. And that's one of the things that a lot, it seems like racism, like bred racism, when you breed that into somebody, it's like nothing else really matters, no matter how much sense it makes on the reasons why we protest in the way that we do. None of that whatever our logical thinking or reasoning is for protesting, in their eyes, we're always going to be wrong. Because the guy said last night, there's better ways to protest. You can go to your congressman, state law, and you can do this and petition this, that, and other. Done all of those things. Martin Luther King taught us how to do that. And what did it get us? Right now, I could say things are way better than the 1960s, but people are still hanging on to that same racism and trying to drag it along into the 2000s. And we're trying to sever that mess. We're trying to cut that crap out. And if you're one of the white people who say, I don't have a prejudiced bone in my body, but you still don't stand up against any of the police brutality and all the wickedness that's going on against blacks or minorities, then what does that say for you? What does that make you? If you don't stand up against the thing, you're accepting it to be. If I don't stand up against black people that are doing wrong, then I am in some way condoning it, which I don't do. If you're wrong, and I don't care what color you are. And now I'm on white folks right now. Y'all heard my rants before. I got on my people. I gave my opinion about how I felt about my people and the way they conduct themselves. Now I'm back on y'all again. Because I had this little conversation last night, me and a couple other people with these two brothers, raised in a white family, of course, and they just can't see what it is that we're saying, and we're spelling it out to them. We're letting you know our reasons. Now, the thing about it is that no matter how many times we tell them these are our reasons for kneeling, they just like trying to force down our throat. That's not it. You're wrong. That can't be it. One of the guys brought up the lyrics to the national anthem, and he explained all of what it meant. And he says, well, none of that, what you guys are doing, has anything to do with what you to mean. You want always the black people are the enemies. Way back in the Western days, the Indian had to be your enemy until you wiped them out. Then realize that all the Indians were doing is trying to live on the land, and be at peace with nature. They wasn't trying to do all the divide and conquer business like y'all came. The settlers came along and just just jack the Indians all over, and you want to do the same with us. But we're fighting the resistance. We are the resistance. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let it happen without a big fight. And look, you say there's better ways to protest. Every time we choose a way to protest, we go out in the streets. We try to have a peaceful protest down the streets. Something kicks off where somebody gets in trouble, and then the media gets a hold to whatever happened, and then next thing you know it, you got a Charleston going on. Charleston, South Carolina, when the girl got run over by who? The hate-filled, racist people ran that girl over. Probably didn't realize that he was killing a white woman, but maybe to him it didn't matter because she was on the wrong side. And that ain't nothing but hate. How can you stand up for something like that when you know it's not right? And then I said to the guy, it's the same thing as like, he said, well, it's so disrespectful to the United States and the flag. And I'm like, well, what do you think police brutality on minorities is? The ultimate disrespect. So how is it that you want us to respect the flag in the way that you want us to respect it, but you don't care about us being disrespected by police officers? It didn't even dawn on him that here it is, that what's happening is it's like an action and a reaction. That the police are acting against us in a brutal manner, so we react with protest. And you say, all right, there's better ways to do it. But here it is. Every time we try them other ways, what happens? We get shut down, right? We get shot at. Somebody gets hurt. So now we got a peaceful one going on. We simply kneel quietly. That's such a big dad-nabbit problem. Make up it doesn't matter what we do. Racist people are never going to agree or like what we do, even if it's like 100% right on right. To them, they'll see some type of fault and wrong with it. That shows that they're racist. They're racist. That shows the degree of racism that's deep rooted inside them. Sometimes they have this. I said to the guy last night in closing, I said, you have a subconscious racism deep inside of you. He don't even realize that he's being that way. He just know that he has to react against us, no matter what we say. We can make all the sense in the world. We can have facts laid out in front of you. We can have people backing us up with their own facts. But being that we brought it up and was right, to them, to racist people, nah, that's not right. Nope, that's wrong. This is how they operate. And if you feel that inside, then you have that racism inside of you too, and it needs to be addressed. You can only fix the racism within yourself before you can fix it that what comes out of you. I used to run around hating white folks at one time. When I was young and Roots came out, I wanted to go bash every white person in the head because of, the history that I've learned through a TV show. Even though in school, they didn't really want to have too much dialogue about slavery back in the day, not in the high school. They talk about Harriet Tubman, that was about it. Oh yeah, and Rosa Parks, that was it. But the rest of the details, they didn't even want to talk to us about it. There was no books really explaining it. And then when Roots came out to explain even deeper and for us to see it visually, yeah, we were some angry young people. I had to be about 17, 18 years old, maybe 16. Coming out here feeling my oats and I want to bash up every white person I saw. But maturity, understanding, I went from that to where I am today to accept everybody with love. If you love me, then I'm going to love you back. I don't care what color you are, man. Bottom line, if you make sense and you got facts to back it up, I have no other choice but to simply say, I may not like the way he looks, but guess what? He's right. That's it. He's right. And I've seen lots of white people have been on point right with a lot of their comments. And I can only agree with them. And I call them my brothers because they're on point with what they're saying. But this particular clown last night, good gracious almighty, he stuck on racism. And you know, that's really a lot of my rants. When you go on my page and you check out what I'm talking about, yeah, a lot of my rants got something to do with black and white, got something to do with the racial tension and whatever even the tension within my own race. I talk about all that stuff. You know what I mean? But now here it is. I get to surprise last night. There was so many people chiming in. I was like, wow, you know, people really want to talk about this thing. They want to talk about it. You know, and that particular picture that was shown, and then his comment added to it, being he was a white guy, actually opened the floodgates for the conversation. And nobody got nasty. You know, nobody started cussing each other out, calling each other all these crazy names. You know, we actually was going back and forth with the points that we had and his points that I felt was just unwarranted, because he's saying things and has no backup on it. We're saying things that you can go Google and check out. You can go check anything out. You know, that what we were saying. So, I mean, you know, police brutality is alive and well, and it's gotten stronger, you know, in some sense, in some places, you know. So, you know, for him to say that it doesn't exist, I think that's a retarded statement. I think that was kind of crazy to say it doesn't, racism doesn't exist. What in the world? Maybe it doesn't exist in your world. You don't have anybody hating on you because you're white. Who do you have hating on you? Oh, other blacks? Black people are hating on you? Is that what you think? Because you got to see, and then, you know, and that explains the reason why a lot of white people, if you notice or not, if they go to a mixed Walmart or stores, or they shop somewhere where it's mixed people, a lot of them have guns on them, you know, because they can't wait for the opportunity. They like, oh man, just please try to bother me. Come on, please, just bring it my way, please, cause I will shoot me a nigger today. You know, so this is the mentality. You know what I'm saying? And here it is, a lot of us. I mean, you know, I understand their fear. Let me just go there. You know, I'm not gonna just pick on them and then just be like, you know, just trying to make a joke about how fearful they really are. But I do want to say this. I understand how they must feel because of what happened from way back in the slavery day to now, and they're not sure which black person, you know, is still real bitter about it. So now they feel like, well, we better protect ourselves and the family. We have to have these guns. We have to. And the NRA is like, yep, you're right. You better get them guns. More money for me. And he's just, you know, hotcakes, guns, get your guns. You know, so, you know, it's like, you know, they're that afraid. But see, I understand, and we all black people should understand.
Be in either of the two right lanes.
We all black people should understand why they feel so afraid, because of what their ancestors have done to our people. And hold on a second, let me just make sure I got this right. Yeah, you know, and they don't know who to trust. But now, when you see an intelligent black man, or you see a peaceful black person, like people in the church, you know what I mean? A lot of black people that go to church, really kind of con-hearted people, man. They got love inside. A lot of them, you know, they got their own little issues and problems. Like what church don't, you know? But why would you want to, as a racist individual, go into church and shoot people, man? Go in these places where good black people are and shoot at them. And they're unarmed, they can't fight back, not with a weapon anyway. You know, but if you go in there and you say, you know, you're gonna try to beat somebody up with your bare hands, you know, you probably gonna get yourself flogged and dragged and stomped in the name of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But no, you want to catch everybody in prayer and shoot them while they pray. You wanna go to a concert. Now, this is a crazy thing. They getting it, they passing these guns out like hotcakes to all their people, and they don't care if the people are sane or insane. And the guy out there shooting at the concert, shooting all them people at the concert, all them people at the concert, the majority of them, I say 99.9% of them people out there enjoying themselves were white. And this fool is shooting them. Don't you see a problem with this? This is wrong. Now, that's a sickness. That's separate from the racism, but not really, not too far separate, because racism is a sickness. Racism is a sickness. And guess what? It's been introduced by the family. If not the family, it's their friends and associates. These are the kind of conversations that they have that bring on the sickness. That's what it is. Hate is a sickness. You can be cured from it, because there's many people who have used, like me, I used to hate white folks. When I was a teenager, I would beat up a white person. If I can do it, I'll beat the snot out of them. Back in my young days, because I was an angry black man. After I feel like I need to do something after all has been done to us. You see? And that was the wrong approach. I matured, I made it through, and I ain't gonna brag about it, but yeah, I had a lot of fights. I lost some fights, but I won more than I lost. And the ones I thought I was gonna lose, I was gone. You wasn't catching there. I was gone, bro. You heard? You wasn't gonna catch me. But when I buck up on you the next time, and you by yourself, you gonna get it. That was how it was. But we all start off this way. Kinda, maybe some of us, not all of us, start off the wrong type way. And then we wind up, God gets us through a lot of nonsense and we straighten up. And I would guess for the same thing for those guys we were talking to on Facebook last night, that they're young and they're growing still. They haven't really gotten it all together. Understanding, what they really need to do. Now, I think all races need to communicate with each other so we can get an understanding of the way that we think, the way that we've been raised, the way that we operate, all that. Once we understand the reasons on why the other people that we have been taught to dislike, why do they operate that way, or are all of them that way, which you'll see that they're not. And that goes for every race to every other race. That's it. That's the only way I learned how to understand the difference between a good white person and a bad white person. I had to get to talk to them and get to know them and see how they've been raised and what they've been taught. Yeah, all of that stuff, And once I realized it, and I used to be scared of Spanish people at one point. I was a teenager, because they used to speak that Spanish and be setting me up. I be thinking they setting me up in Spanish, and I don't know, and they smiling in my face saying, yeah, see, come go, over here. And once I realized that, no, that was just a fear of mine. I was always on guard with them, but I don't feel that way anymore. I looked at them more of my brothers than anything else, my brothers and sisters, Hispanics. I look at them now today as my brothers and sisters, because they've been treated here in the United States not so right. A lot of them have denounced their Spanishness and jumped on board with the old wicked white people so they can continue to live prosperous in this country. They turned on their own freaking people. And you got a lot of black people did the same freaking thing, which we already know. Like the Willie Lynch thing. That fool right there, shoot, Willie Lynch. Bah! That fool did us some real bad harm right there. But he did what? He did a great service to the slave owners. Right? So it's stuff like that, man. And you know, we all mature, and we just have, in order for us to get along as races, as different people, different races, we need to communicate. And what better way to communicate is social media. If we don't use this platform to communicate and try to bridge the gap between the races, then it's just going to continue and continue and continue. What we need to stomp out is the sickness, racism. Simple as that. And where it thrives the best is the Ku Klux Klan group and the neo-Nazis and the skinheads. We got to stomp those out. And Donald Trump had an opportunity to do so, and all he did was try to put us all in the same boat together and say it was fine people on both sides. Wasn't no fine people on their side. They came there for one thing only, like they've always stood for from way back in slavery days or soon after slavery, with that Confederate flag and that swastika flag and flag they got. Tread on me flag, and man, they got so many freaking flags, man, they can stick up the crack of their butt and be happy with them. I don't give a snap. They need to get rid of all of them. If you're a part of that group, you accept what they do and how they treat us, then you need to be in the same group and go to Russia, like I said before. Pack your bags and go to Russia. Yeah? Alright. But anyway, this stemmed out of a conversation, went like 2 o'clock in the morning last night, man. Me and this other girl was kind of trying to talk sense to this guy, and I just gave up, man. I was like, I'm going to bed, man. I was misspelling everything, man. And then, hey, one time they tried to make me belittle me because I misspelled a word, or I put the wrong word in there. And you know, I was trying to hurry up, and I'm nodding to sleep and trying to get my point out. And then he said, well, you probably need to rewrite this. He understood exactly what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be politically, politically correct and texting. Donald Trump mess up all the time when he texts, when he threw his little text, he mess up all the time. Don't nobody say nothing about that. But let a black person misspell something or do something wrong. Yep, that's a dumb nigger right there. Look at that. You gotta rewrite that, pal. Man, please, man, you kiss my kahuna, man. You rewrite that. I'll rewrite it on your forehead. You know what I mean? But you know, that's really, you know. I mean, to be honest with you, I do like going back and forth with the dialogue and everything, because I feel like at least he's getting something that he hadn't had an opportunity to get, and that is the ideal or the the way that we think through social media versus what he's been told or what he do see on videos when he see black people beating each other up, shooting at each other and all that. Now he gets to talk to some people who got some sense and see where our direction really is, and see why we protest about particular things, and see why we might be upset. You can't tell me that I have no reason to be upset. Well, because you're living perfect. You know, you're not your ancestors. They went through all that, and that's all over with. So you need to get over it. You know, they always coming up with nonsense like that. You know what I mean? How are we going to get over something when it's young people trying to there's somebody else posting on Facebook about something. You know, how you expect us to get over it when your people are dragging the racism from back then all the way up into these days, riding around with Confederate flags, big ones, flying off their truck. And you expect, you know, you're just trying to cram it down our throats and accept it. And you know what? I'm not that person. And I hope there's lots more of us, black, white alike, that are not going to accept that. Bottom line, I don't care how much you say with your words, it's, you know, you're wrong for protesting. Really? Now, I really would love to see, I wish I was a magic man and like flip you to black, make you be black for the rest of your life, and then let's see if you say those particular words. Let you live as a black person here, the way things are today. You will be treated the same dagnabbit way, and then flip you back to white after about 25, 30 years. You know? And then see how you feel about black folks and why they do what they do and all this type of stuff. You can take any race of people, mistreat them for decades and decades and decades, and they're gonna turn out, you know, kind of rough. Some rough edges, man, trying to survive in however way they can. You know, and you can't say that it's wrong because they've been mistreated all their freaking life. You know, and then when opportunities come, some of them still don't know how to act because now you see how these young black rappers all of a sudden come into all that money, they don't know how to act. You know what I mean? So, you know, I ain't gonna start going into, you know, the faults of my black people right now because I'm really ranting on you racist white folks. You know, and the reason I'm trying to explain to you again, which we all seem to try to do, but you know, you got your blinders on and you got your earplugs in, and you like, no, what I got in my head about why you're kneeling is what it is. No matter what you say or what you're telling us, it's not true. It's a lie, and you're disrespectful to the flag, and you're disrespecting our servicemen, so you're wrong. You're being disrespectful. You are being disrespectful when you ignore the fact police brutality on minorities exists in a strong way in 2018. You're being disrespectful. Okay? You want to talk about respect? You're being disrespectful. Huh? When you support a dumb like Donald, who don't give a dag nabbit about this country, all he cares about is money in his pocket, you're being disrespectful. Okay? Let's just clear that. Let's just clear that up. Clear that up right now. Okay, you want to talk about respect. Okay? You don't just get respect just because you're white. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn your respect. That means you gotta respect others to receive respect. See how that works? Respect other people, and you in turn will be respected. That's simple. Alright, y'all. I did it again. Went on one of them rants, man. Just can't help myself. But you know what? I just want to share these thoughts with you every time I have them. And I think here I am on Facebook, over there on Facebook, you know, doing the same thing. And I thought it was an interesting dialogue last night. It kept me up to 2 in the morning. And I was very intrigued to hear what these two white brothers were saying, you know, in defense of kneeling or the flag or United States or whatever. And they got the whole concept totally wrong on the reasons on why we kneel. You know, the reasons why we kneel is not their reason. And this is where they're confused, and they simply leave it at one thing. It's what I say it is. I told you that's what it is. So dang nabbit, that's what it is. That's what they're trying to do. Cram it down our throats, and we won't accept it. What you're gonna have to do is start being a little more understanding. Be a little more understanding and realize the true reasons on why we chose to protest in a peaceful manner like this. Now the world, not just spots of the United States, can see the reasons why we protest. Now the world sees it based on 2 individuals. First, Colin Kaepernick. Second, a serviceman who suggested to kneel. Bam! Take that, put it in your hat, buddy. One love, peace, I'm out. Remember, if you want to earn respect, you treat people the way you want to be treated. And I'm pretty sure the way that you racist white people are treating blacks, you don't want us to treat you that way, do you? I don't think so. Peace, y'all.